Okay, today's music theory lesson is on transposition. Transposition is when you take a piece of music, whether it's a melody or chords or accompaniment or anything like that, and you move all of the information into a different key. The reason you might want to do something like that is because, oh, that's not good, is because, let's fix that. That's weird. The reason you might want to transpose something is because you might want to be moving it into a different key for a singer. So let's say there's a song on the radio that sounds really cool, but it's too high for the singer or too low. You're going to want to take the melody and move it into a different key that better fits their range. Or if you have a piece of music that you wrote and you want a trumpet player to play it, the trumpet player actually reads in B flat, which means all of the notes that they're reading have to be shifted up by one letter if you want them to play it and have it sound like what you want. So right here we have hot cross buns in the key of C. You can't really see my treble clef, which is annoying, but whatever. So the first thing we need to do is we need to go through the entire piece and kind of analyze what scale degrees we're on. So to do that, I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to draw all the letters in the key of C, which is just me drawing out the scale. And then I'm going to number them. C is 1, D is 2, E is 3, F is 4, G is 5, etc., right? So now I'm just going to go through the entire piece, and whatever number that is, or letter it is, I'll write that number. So I have hot cross buns, B da dum, D da dum, da 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 dee da dum. I got cut off over there. Okay. So first note is E. E is 3. I'm going to write that right there. Next note is D. That's a 2. Put that there. C is 1. Bam. You should pause the video right now and go through and do the rest of this on your own, and then you can check and see what the answers are, because I'm going to do it really quickly right now. Here we go. Bunch of 2s right here. Dude. Oh, sorry, 1s. That was an accident. Going a little too fast. Okay. Ba-da-da-dum, dee-dee-dee-dee. And then at the end it would be 3, 2, 1 again, because that is the same as the beginning. So that's great. I know my entire piece now according to its each scale degree. So now I'm going to pick a different key to put this in. I'm going to put this in the key of, let's do something pretty, let's do the key of A flat, okay? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my treble clef in down here, because I'm going to rewrite it in the new key down here. And the first thing I need to do is put in the key signature for A flat. So A flat is going to have a B flat, an E flat, an A flat, and a D flat. Now, all I'm really doing is rewriting this piece in a new key, but using the same numbers, okay? So here's where it gets a little bit crazy. I'm going to erase the top part of the scale thing here, because we don't need it anymore. We really just need the numbers, okay? And now I'm going to redo the numbers in the key of A flat, because that's the key that I'm in now, okay? So in the key of A flat, 1 would be A flat, 2 would be B flat, C would be 3, D flat would be 4, E flat would be 5, F is 6, and G natural is 7, and etc. Okay? So now it's really easy. All I'm going to do is plug in my numbers from here down here, okay? So I start on 3 in my original melody of the key of C, which was an E, but the 3 in my new key is now a C. So I'm going to put my C right here. Next one is 2, which would be B flat. I'm going to put that in. And the one after that is 1, which is A flat. Oh, it should be a half note. Sorry, I made the same mistake up there. I'm going to do it like this, even though it probably could be spelled differently. Next measure is the same, so I'll just do that really quick. Okay, and then I have 4 1s and 4 2s, so I should have a bunch of A flats and a bunch of B flats. I'm gonna do that right now. Da 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 dee 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 dee. Right there. Probably can't see because of the computer. Sorry. Those are also going to be 8th notes, by the way, if that wasn't obvious. And if I have one more measure, it'd be done. So I will show you. I'll play these on guitar so we can hear them. Again, the notes are changing, but the melody is not. So if I play my original one in the key of C, it sounds something like this. key of C. If that's too high for someone and we need to lower it, like to, for example, maybe A flat, we need to shift all of the notes down. So I'm going to do that right now. Here's what the bottom part sounds like. Okay, still the same song, but now it's in a different key that sounds better for that person's voice. Now, there's another way of transposing and doing this entire process, which is actually slightly easier and a little bit faster, but it's kind of easy to mess up. If you look at the melodic contour of this, we're starting on a note and we're going down 2. Starting on a note, going down 2, staying on that note, doing a bunch of them, and then going up, etc. If we know that the melodies are going to look the same, but just starting on different notes, then if we figure out what is called the offset between the two, then we can kind of just write the entire thing that way, even without the numbers. So you have to do the numbers for the first measure to figure it out. But what you'd realize is, I'm going to write these notes here down here. Our old notes were literally just one space away. I made a mistake here, sorry. So really, if you wanted to transpose this really quickly, all you were really doing is taking the original melody and going down to the next space or down to the next line. So if I wanted to transpose this really fast, I could just do something like this. You know, because I'm just taking the note that's there and going down a third. Now, it doesn't work like this all the time. It would only work depending on what key you're in. But it can be a lot faster. So pause it if you need to, because I'm going to erase all of this right now. Okay? And I'm going to do another thing with that same thing. So let's do Mary Had a Little Lamb in the key of D. So I have my key signature here, F sharp and C sharp. Got my treble clef. B da 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 da. So I'm going to have this going to this. Okay, that's my first measure. Ba da 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 da. E's right here, and then F sharp and 2 A's. Okay, that's my first line of my melody. Good enough. Okay, so if I wanted to transpose this really easily, I would figure out what the offset was between this note and the new key. So I still need to figure out the numbers. So in the key of D, I have a D, E, sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and D. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to do a little bit of this melody right now. I'm just going to do the first part. F sharp in the key of D is 3, E is 2, D is 1, there, and I'll just start this one, which is 3. Okay? So my numbers are ba da 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 da. Okay? So now I'm going to pick another key, and I'm going to do something like the key of, let's put it in A. Okay? So I'm going to erase this really quick. So it's a lot easier. Okay, so now I'm in the key of A.
Excuse the interruption. The Kai is out from the main office for dismissal.
And what I need to do now is just figure out like the first few notes until I have a pattern. And then once I have the pattern down, it's just kind of like tracing after that, okay? So there's my notes. So now my new key, I'm starting on 3, which would be C sharp. I'm going to put that in. That goes right here, but it would really be down here in the new key. Okay, so I got that. And then my next one would be 2, which is B, which goes right here or right here. And my last one would be 1, which would be A. And then it goes to 2. Now check this out. The distance between these, B, da, da, bum, right? Once you figure out what that distance is, it's going to be the same every time. So in this case here, I'm 2 spaces away. This one I'm 2 lines away, 2 spaces, 2 lines. So that means here, I'm going to be 2 spaces above, which means my note is probably a C sharp. My note here is going to be 2 lines above, it's going to be B natural, and my line here would be C sharp, going up 2 spaces to E and to E, okay? So it's just kind of like acknowledging that the whole thing is a giant pattern or a shape, and then moving them up or down by however many lines or spaces it is away. So really quickly, if I did the same thing here to make sure it's correct, we have 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3. So it'd stay on the C sharp. 2, 2, 2, because that's E in the key of D, which is our B in the key of A now. bum, bum. And then we have do da da, which is 3-5-5. So 3-5-5 in our key is C sharp E E. And now we'll check just to make sure that we're right. Okay. So both the new melody here and this melody should be exactly the same. C B A B, C B A B, C C C, C C C, B B B, B B B, C E E, C E E. Done. So to summarize, transposition, or to transpose something, is when you take a melodic excerpt or a melody or something in music containing certain notes in a certain key, and you're moving all of them to a new key. Usually in the scenario of helping out a singer whose range is limited, or to transpose for a transposing instrument such as the trumpet or the saxophone and things like that. And really all you need to do is go through, write out your scale for whatever key you're in. You know, we were in the key of D there, so we write that out in the key of D, put a number on each thing, and then go through and analyze every note. Okay, in the key of D, let's do it in the key of A, it's a little easier. In the key of A, C sharp would be my 3, so I put a 3 there, B, B2, etc. Once all of your numbers are done, you draw out the other scale in the new key, do the numbers there, and you just plug all the numbers in. Okay, so you're really just running this and kind of turning your entire piece into just numbers, and then you take those numbers and enter them into the new key, and then you're done. One last important thing about this is when you're doing it, the melodic contour has to stay the same. So when we think about the melody here, we have Mary had.
Camden Hardy and Christina Bishop. Please report to the main office for dismissal.
We have Mary had a little lamb. Notice the melody doesn't really go too low or too high, just ba da 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 dum. You know, really what I'm doing is I'm playing F sharp, E, and D, but it's possible to transpose and get those still wrong. You know, like I could do F sharp, E, and D somewhere random, like this, and then this, and then this. Technically, it's still F sharp, E, and D, right? Mary had a, but this sounds like sounds really weird. Okay, so when you get done with it, you should compare your new transposition to the old original melody, and they should look the same, but everything will either be higher or be lower. Okay. Hope that helps.